for Friday the 8th of September. So looking at the chart today, we're still under this area of high pressure, and you see a complete absence of isobars around us. Very, very slack air mass at the moment, and we'll see that in pretty much no wind today. Going ahead, tomorrow, similar air mass, fairly high pressure, but as we go further into the weekend, we're going to be picking up slightly more unstable air and some frontal activity making its way over the top of us, which should actually result in a nicer, more unstable air mass for next week. Winds today, as I mentioned, hardly anything at all. Showing on the south coast variable at 5 knots, and towards the centre of the country, about 240 at 5 knots, and that's at flying height, so fairly negligible today. Satpic is showing some cloud around. There's this top cover sort of coming in from the west, which I think we're going to have quite a lot of all day, which will reduce the soaring, but hopefully take the edge off the temperature. Other than that, there's no low-level cloud really anywhere at all. So your public forecast is showing actually fairly cloudy today, but with that top temperature reaching 27 degrees, that wind is showing on the ground from the southwest, maximum gust of about 4 or 5 knots, so really hardly anything at all. GFS is showing we might actually get 28, 29 degrees. I guess that's relying on a little bit less top cover. With dew points set at around 16, so again, a reasonable split there. That is relying on heating out the inversion and anything happening. Satpic is showing windsock just pointing at the ground, and quite a lot of high-level cloud at the moment. It's not going to cause us any problems flying, but it probably is going to reduce any soaring potential today. Current temperature is 20 degrees, with dew points set at 17. Dave Basson's forecast today is some blue to 3,000 feet potentially this afternoon. He is talking about it might not be quite that good depending on the top cover. Might be okay for a short cross country, probably if you're quite brave. I think it's going to be very similar to how it has been the last few days. Yesterday was reasonably soarable for a few hours in the afternoon, but not very high. So your potential flight distance for today on Top Meteo is as shown. Really not very optimistic at all. And the reason for that, if we look at the thermals, let's go for 2 o'clock. It's showing really very weak in our area, a little bit better towards the centre of the country, but it's showing blue to 2,500 at most by the looks of it. Your site forecast for today is showing thermals of less than a knot starting about midday for a couple of hours, so really at peak heating. And it's showing up to about 2,500, 3,000 feet, but really showing them to be very weak. Okay, no terms if anyone's brave enough to go cross country. There's a couple, 25. There's just some paragliders around. Want to avoid article dropping at Abingdon, 3 nautical mile radius. And there's some more paragliders. There's no term quite close to us here, number 18. Also paragliders all day. That's around Winchester. So keep a good lookout if you go that way. And down to the south, which I don't think any gliders will be going to, Goodwood, we've got an air display. They've also got a temporary danger area. So that's all day. As I say, I don't think anyone's going to be going down there. Okay, operationally, we're going to set up on 27 today due to that very light wind with a little bit of a southwest flow. Launch point in the normal position, and winch probably set fairly far back with the cables running down the edge of the runway. Aerotone from the north side of the runway as normal. I don't think we're going to need a grid today. One other thing that's quite important today, the use of the runway and movement. So we've got an extra 300 departure at 10 a.m. local. That's just like any small aircraft movement. So they do that using the rest of the runway. We don't have to move off the launch point. Potentially another one this afternoon. Doesn't really affect the operation too much, but just good to be aware. 2XL are on the runway from about 1300 onwards. We'll time it with our lunch break. And they'll be on there for about 45 minutes. They need to measure some areas of the runway for repairs. So we won't be able to winch launch during that time, and we won't be able to aerotow from the main runway. If people are eager to go flying, we'll be able to aerotow you from the north side grass. That's pretty much it. Should be quite a nice day. I'll see you out there. Bye for now.